Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the PiGosaur Monday. PiGosaur Monday number 24. I'm, of course, just like VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, by my fleshies as well. Welcome, one and all, to your early Tuesday morning dose of PiGosaur Monday. Because it makes sense. But here we go. We have our first series of the broadcast. And spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have our South Korean teal Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing among SC2 people. It is LunaSea. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Canadian Terran player, we have the Canadian Terran himself. It is Greenert. For Born Gosu. Let's go. Let us go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is? It is Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do get our match underway. Oh, one moment though. Just setting up and making sure everything is as it should be. Before we jump in, let's go. Let us go. So yeah, welcome one and all. Buenos dias. Good morning. We were live last night, and I got a grand total of 3 hours sleep. Let's go. Let's go. Two actually, by the way. 2 extra Reaper. But 3 hours of sleep. So I do apologize if I'm a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. With this. If I'm a little bit groggy or still trying to wake up, I'll do my best though. Do my best to be alert and be awake throughout the broadcast. Of course, this is going to be our first broadcast of the day. Later on tonight, we're going to be covering the HSL, the Hispanic Star League. That is going to be later on this evening as our more EU-friendly broadcast. So 2 casts today. That's how we do. That's who we be. For now though, 2x Reaper here out of Greenert. Bit of a more assertive start here. Again, coming into this, LunaSea is going to be coming in as the favored player. That is true. But Greenert is still a GM himself, still a contender, and we'll see if Greenert can pull off a bit of an upset here. For now, moving out with his Reapers, and we'll see what he can get done as LunaSea is in the dark. LunaSea, he was denied the scout into the main, did not quite go fully in. Just now coming with a rescout, but there is now a full wall, and this probe shouldn't see much, but may see the timing of the CC. Oh, barely does. Okay, so now he knows. Now he knows that the CC is late, it is delayed, and should be aware of at least a factory boast opener. We know that it's going to be more than that. We know it's going to be Master Reaper. We'll see. We'll see what damage can be done, as this is going to hit a little bit earlier, a little bit faster. So I'm moving out. Whereas LunaSea setting up here back at home. Stargate opener out of our Protoss. A little bit risky here to go for the Stargate. This won't help too much here in the other game defense. What do we have? We have 2 adepts. We have 2 adepts here to hold on. Can 2 short Reapers. There's the first volley. There's the second. Oh, barely doesn't quite get the same Reaper. And Probe's going to be going down. He gets one. He gets 2. 2 probes, 3 probes for 3 Reapers here. As Greenert is going to be cleaned up. We'll get some scouting information at least. We'll dive into the main base. We'll get a read on what's going on and should confirm the Stargate. Should be able to get there. As he is going to be chased down. Well, we'll get away. So he gets a full scout on the main base, gets confirmation of the Stargate opener, and will pull out. So not bad, not bad. Does get some scouting. When it comes to the damage dealt, less than ideal, right? 3 probes with 2 Reapers, not the best trades here from Greenert. He will race back at home, is going to be going for his own stim follow-up. It makes sense because of his 2 racks opener, so he's going into mass bio. This is once again going to be an interesting style here out of Greenert. This does mean that he's going to have delayed factory, delayed tank production, delayed starport, but an abundance of Marines early on. And against a Stargate opener, I do want to say that he can get away with this. He should be in a decent position as long as he doesn't lose too much of the Oracle. But up say do shade in, diving on the Marines. Does dive on, bunker is done. Yeah, Oracle in whole position, catching out some reinforcements. Marines are very low. And Marines are low. Adepts to get 4 or 5 SCVs. They do shade out. Nice moves here by LunaSea, getting into the main base and getting even more damage done. Yeah, 7 SCV kills in total, getting up to 8, getting up to 9. Oh, ay. And 9 SCVs, brutal damage. And GG gets called. That was game-ending damage here. Greenert doesn't want to try to play that from behind. He does fall back, and with that, LunaSea takes game number 1. Whew. GG. LunaSea does take a lead in the series. Again, just a really rough start there for Greenert despite the bio follow-up. I mean, we spoke about it, the initial 2x Reaper didn't really get much done. Was getting into his bio follow-up, which was okay if he had been in position for the Oracle. Unfortunately, still just wreaked havoc, too much damage. GG. GG, well played with that. That's going to lead us into our next game. It's going to lead us here into game number 2. Lead us into game 2. When it comes to the bracket itself, exclamation mark B in the chat. We'll get there. We'll get to the bracket ourselves after this series. We'll try to catch up on what has been going on. T-Gen, true. Feels bad, man. I didn't expect, last night, what do you see me Monday? It lasted so long. I think it ended at around like 4 a.m. It was crazy. Like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Ay. Did go quite long, but here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Frost line, we do have our South Korean Protoss player leading series 1-0. It is LunaSea. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Canadian Terran player, the Green Terran, representing PiGosaur. It is Greenert. Okay, we're good. We are back. We're jumping into that second game. But yeah, last night, what is even Monday was did last a lot longer than we used to. I think we even sped up the events by starting the semifinals at the same time. Wait, at the same time, but starting them a little bit earlier. We'll be good. We'll be good. I'm most likely going to try and go to sleep after this and try to get as much sleep as I can before tonight's broadcast. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll do our best. Hello, Getcha. Hello, Pecoeta. Baby Links as well. Turbo Quacker, Psycons. Shout out to Werehug for arriving first today. Thank you. Thank you. So shout out to Werehug as we settle in. This time, Greener going for a more economic opener, going for a Rax Expand. Faster CC out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, LunaSea back at home, going to be settling in, getting to his own gate into Cybercore, into Expand. Standard opener out of LunaSea, and a more economic build this time out of Greenert. Now we are going to be loading into Frostline being one of the larger maps in the map pool. With this being a larger map, that does mean that something like a Stargate opener is going to be a little bit safer. So I could see LunaSea going for the Stargate here once again. Speaking of similar builds though, that is a second Rax, and do we go for a third? Are we going for 3 Rax? The answer is yes. So we have a 3x here from Greenert. This is a very old school build. Very old school. It's been a long time since we've actually embraced, or since this has been in the meta. I'm thinking of back during the Side Delta map pool, you know, a couple of years ago. And we'll see how Greenert can piece this all together. So basically this is a stim timing. 3 Vaxes into Reactor, Tech Labs, into stim, into Combat Shields, into a big timing across the map. Usually this does hit without any starports and without any Medivacs, as we are focusing on pure bio production. And this can catch a player off guard, and it can straight up kill players that do open Stargate. Unfortunately, LunaSea is not playing Stargate, he is opening Twilight Council. So with this, a bit of a safer start out of LunaSea, he should be okay. He will have the tools to defend. Checking Greener's vision here. Greenert, he did scout the tech. Greenert, he did see the Twilight Council. So Greenert is aware. He is aware of what's going on. As he does try to delay, we'll get 1 SCV kill. It's 1 SCV. From there is force back. It's going to be force back. Now, even though LunaSea, he's gone for a bit of a safer opener, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, he's through this yet. Ideally, LunaSea wants to be as active as possible. When it comes to the eventual move outs, LunaSea does want to slow it down. He wants to engage in the center of the map, wants to slow it down, ideally even force out a stim. That does shade in, but that is going to be punished and will take a lot of hull damage. Has to pull away. Does pull back, does pull away. Meanwhile, yo, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Thank you so much for the raid. Moja. Oh my god. God, baby God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome one and all from Moja's channel. For those that are tuning in, this is the PiGosaur Monday. It is a little bit more of an NA friendly tournament in saying that specifically the time zone. I know it's quite late in Europe. It's quite late, so hope you get plenty of rest. Hope you get some sleep. And welcome one and all. Despite this being a little bit more of an unfriendly hour for European players, that doesn't stop some of the Europeans from signing up. We get some degens here like Jumi, like Geralt, Nicorette, MaxPack, sometimes Clem as well, where they stay up until like 5-6 a.m. in the morning playing in this tournament. Like they're committed. They're passionate, baby. They're passionate. Oh my god. So if you look at the brackets, there should be some of those competitors in the tournament. Exclamation mark B in the chat. Have a look at the bracket yourselves. For now, we do see LunaSea picking away at the Bio Army so far. Nice pickoffs. 10 seconds away from sim finishing. So already a very strong start here by LunaSea. We spoke earlier how ideally against a 3-vax you do want to be active or proactive, and so far LunaSea has been just that. LunaSea picking up how many in total? 6 Marines already. That already does weaken the push of Greenert. As Stim is now done, as Greenert moves out, LunaSea, he's moving in. Ooh, and there's not much of him to defend. Yeah, Marines are going to be falling. Do you see Greenert attempting to commit? Again, is in a rough position. LunaSea does fall back. He does recognize, hold up, the army's missing. The army's missing. The army should be somewhere. Does turn back around. He's going to save the shield battery. Immortals on the way. Third base as well. Greenert, he doesn't commit. Does not commit. Behind this now, third TC. Third TC's on the way, so Greenert is going to try to transition out of this in towards the mid game. But ideally, he did want to do something with his stint timing, and so far has not. So Greenert does back up. He's catching up in the chat. I ended the stream with TVP BC Mech. It was a good stream with You're an animal, Moja. You're an animal. Ay. God damn it. Este Moja. I mean, that's the way to end the stream. True. That's glad you had a good time. Glad you had a good time. Looking forward to seeing maybe some more Moja in the next PiGosaur Monday. Maybe. Again, not at the best time for European players, but maybe. Or even our tournaments as well. Este Moja. Waiting for that. Now LunaSea does defend. He has been spotted here by Greenert. Likewise, Colossus production has begun. As LunaSea is now getting out of just pure Blink Stalker into Colossus. We have Charge only behind this into +1. More delayed Charge and Forge and +1 timing. See LunaSea going for the faster Colossus instead. And a faster bait. And looks like we're just going to try to play this out in a more macro sense here. Despite the initial 3-vax of Greenert, he was deflected. Does catch out a Stalker, not bad. Does get a Stalker, does move out. Alas, Colossus has arrived. And Greenert, he doesn't commit. Doesn't commit to the push. Just calms down, backs off. I do appreciate that he's going for a split push. There's a double jump here towards the top side. And he can try to pull LunaSea apart. There's a safety shield battery, but nothing quite in the main base. So there is potential. Splits off his army. Heads towards the southern expansion. And he will force a cancel. LunaSea out of position completely. Very nicely done. Denies the fourth base. It does distract LunaSea. Forces a reaction, dropping to the main. Nothing in position. And the main base is under fire. There's the recall. Does recall back over. Greenert getting the hell out of there. Does pull out. Does pull away. Some nice moves here by Greenert. Oh, as Colossus overextend. They should not be here. Oh. Should be okay though. There we go. Does back up. It's fine, it's fine. Taking some hull damage. Greenert building up his third base. Now, what's important, as we've been posturing and being active here, Greenert, he denies the fourth. He picks up a couple of pylons here and there. He's getting damage done, forcing recalls, and also being left alone. Right, the economy here of Greenert has been left alone. He's freely mining from a 3-base economy. There's no Zealot run by, Zealot harass, Zealot drops, or anything like that. Prism is on the way, and I'm sure that harassment is coming, but it hasn't really been here yet. So Greenert, he's maintaining himself. Meanwhile, speaking of harassment, oh, it's going to be a Dark Shrine for LunaSea. Just going for the Dark Shrine. Going for the DTs. Here comes that Prism. You see Greener fully walling up, throwing down sensor towers. We spoke about harassment, and he wants none of that. He's going to be able to get eyes on any kind of drop play. Does barely miss that Prism. Oh. I think barely did spot it. At least, yeah, there we go. He does respond. Does respond. Vikings on the way. And he will come across this. And the Prism gets shut down. Nice pick off. At the same time, LunaSea catching out Greenert. Gets a medevac. LunaSea will chase. That should trigger this southern drop. Greenert moving in. He's looking for a fourth base. Fourth base wasn't retaken. Now stimming in. Forces the defensive warp in. Deals with the cannons. There we go. Forces another recall. Okay, recall is on cooldown. Does force a recall. Gets the hell out of there. Greenert, he's maxed out. LunaSea, he's getting there. Now, LunaSea, he hasn't really invested into too much other splash damage other than Colossus. There's no disruptors yet. There's no storm. Second rover's on the way, so he is thinking about disruptors. He gets spotted. Greener moving in. Vikings, they catch a Colossus. Not bad. They get one. One Colossus goes down. Going for another. Massive pickup. There's one Colossus left. We spoke about it, no splash damage, there's nothing left here. Just a gateway army, Vikings, they land behind the Stalkers. Zealots are dealt with. Vikings, they don't trade too badly here. They don't trade badly. Stalker's going to be going down, and Greenert, he's done it. He breaks on through at the same time across the map. SCVs are going down. The economy is crippled, but it may not matter. It's Greenert, he's going for the kill. That takes down one of the robos. DTs, they warp in. There's detection, there's a scan. Greenert, he's going for the Nexus. Warp's on the way. LunaSea, can he buy enough time? Boys being pulled. There's a scan. Scans with Dark Templar. Dark Templar go down. Worker's going to be falling. Immortal does swap out. And it looks like Greenert, he should barely have enough. He should. This is another Desperation warp in. Across the map, 22 SCV kills. Nexus goes down. And Greenert doesn't have enough. But what he does have, 4th CC on location. 4th base is on location. 5th CC finishing up as well. Greenert, he did trade very nicely, resetting the Colossus count. And LunaSea, he's in a bit of trouble here. He is in trouble. Rebuilding the Colossus. He is somewhat on a 3-base economy. But LunaSea needs time. He needs time to make use of this economy, make use of these workers, take his gases, and rebuild. And Greenert, he's already here. Again, this is a very cheap army, getting back into Marine Marauder. Does commit. And Greenert looking to force the ace match. He stims in. He stims on 4, takes down the cannons, one after the other. Going for the mineral line. LunaSea, he won't be able to defend. Yeah, he will lose almost everything here. 15 probe kills. So I'll say dive in. Greenert, yeah, he can just stand. He can just stand and fight this. Doesn't have to kite back. Stims forward. And GG gets called. He breaks through. And Greenert will tie up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. Very nicely done there by Greenert. Again, able to keep LunaSea on the back foot. There were multiple times where LunaSea was trying to move out or trying to be aggressive or active, but he was being forced to recall time and time again, pinned back home. LunaSea did leave Greenert alone, so Greenert was able to max out, get into a 3-base economy without being harassed whatsoever. I mean, sure, there was a prism towards the main base, but did get shut down. GG. GG, well played. Getting into Game 3. Beautiful. Oh, I gotta be getting into Game 3. Just catching up. Well, Science, what's what I think of this map and what this map pool might look like next week. I did see the thoughts on changing the map pool. Did see. I mean, I think already a lot of the tournament organizers are mixing in the new TLMC 20 maps into the map pool. I think I mean, so far we're all in agreement when it comes to getting rid of the older maps like Abyssal Reef, Neo Violet Square, and King's Cove. But I believe Stegosaurus is planning on getting rid of more than just that and replacing more than just those maps. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to what is finalized here. And of course, big shout out to Protostegosaurus. He's the Osaur, part of the PiGosaur Monday. Big shout out. He's a dinosaur. But here we go. We're getting into our ace match. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss. It is LunaSea. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Canadian Terran player, the Green Terran representing Port Gosu. It is Greenert. Let's go. Let's go. I actually mentioned a certain Kura earlier about your experience with Lost Fantasy. I'll ask you later. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, so far it's been relatively positive. I think Lost Fantasy is one of those maps where we did ask the opinion on some of the players. Basically, we were hosting a bunch of TLMC tournaments in the lead up to the voting of TLMC. And whatever I could, I would ask players their opinion. And a lot of players are, I would say there's like two different like sects of players. Some of them are all for us. They're like, no, yeah, like variety is a good thing, diversity is a good thing. I mean, again, there's a reason why Lost Fantasy came first in TLMC. I do think that interest and yearning for a 3-player spawn map by the community 100% is there. When it comes to the players, there's a portion of them that are all for it as well. There are others which are like more concerned about, like, you know, cheese, about early game aggression, about the RNG factor, which is understanding, but it's like mainly just concerns. Like it's more like they're just concerned about the possibility of that, you know, being a factor and being an issue, instead of that actually happening so far. But yeah, we'll see. At the same time, you could argue that we haven't seen enough on Lost Fantasy, but from the games that we've seen so far, it's been very mid-game oriented. Very mid-game oriented. Oh, as LunaSea does come in with the gas steal. Not bad. Does come in with the gas steal. Being a little bit cheeky here. But because it came first, I'll be honest, I would not be surprised if Lost Fantasy gets introduced into the new ladder map pool. Would not be surprised. I'm not saying that just because it's first means that ESL are going to pick it. That's not entirely true. As we're rushing, oh Jesus, as we're rushing into Macville accelerators. But that does kind of put things into it does kind of make ESL look at it a little bit more seriously. They do take further into consideration the placings of those maps, and as I mentioned before, the fact that they got first place shows that like the interest, at least from the voting base or the community, the viewers, the audience, is there for 3-player spawn maps. LunaSea does pull out. LunaSea pulling out. Did see the Researching Tech Lab. Hopefully took note of that. But yeah, Researching Tech Lab this early on is crazy. I would have assumed that this was going to be mech, but it's only the one factory. So where exactly is Greenert taking us here? A bit of a more unique build, going into a 2-1-1 essentially with Macfield. Okay, let's go. Standing there at LunaSea, going into Blink Stalkers, into a third base. And we'll see what Greenert can get done with these early Cyclones. Cyclones are moving out. But we know Metalopolis could show up. True, true. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, the reasoning as to why 3 older maps were added was, I don't think the concept of reintroducing old maps, I don't think is a bad thing. Because so much time and effort gets put into maps, and a lot of maps are in for like a season and then they're gone. That sounds like a long time currently, true, right? Like, because nowadays, like, a map pool lasts an entire year, right? Like, a map pool lasts a year. So because of that, it's maybe a little bit different. But back in the day, back when map pools would last like 3 months, there were maps that would come and go quite quickly. So I think the idea of bringing in older maps isn't a bad one, and I do think that I championed that idea during the off season. The problem is the maps that were chosen specifically. Like, it's been spoken about to death, but the maps that were chosen feel really weird. One, because they're very old and very outdated, but two, like the kind of, let me think of the methodology behind the maps themselves are very different to the current meta, and it was almost contradicting what the patch was meant to do. If you remember the patch, one of the goals of the patch was to reduce turtling, reduce longer macro stalemates and split map scenarios in such a way. But the new maps the old maps that were reintroduced favor that kind of style, and I think that's what really confused a lot of people, myself included. It's like, huh, like, there's a disconnect here. Like, why were these maps chosen if we were told that they incentivize play that we want to get rid of? So it's just really weird. It's just, yeah, really odd. But like, the overall idea of like reintroducing all maps, I don't think is a negative thing. Kind of. Meanwhile, here comes a push, and again we have Macfield. Forced to be 5 Cyclones here for Greenert. Does move out, does commit, catching out a Stalker. Stalker does go down. And without charge, there's going to be a tough hold here for LunaSea. He's defending with purely Stalkers. As you can see, these Cyclones, their goal is to lock on to shut down those Stalkers, to force those blinks, and to bring them down. Safety Immortal has arrived. Shield battery is done. So far, nice control here by LunaSea. Does pull away. Does blink away, breaks the lock-ons, cleans up all the Marines, and now the Cyclones are exposed. Now we can go for the aggressive blink. He dives in, he shuts this down, and I appreciate how unique this build was from Greenert, but behind this, he's still making more Cyclones, and on their own, as you can see, they do nothing. They get targeted down one after the other. There just was not enough support. LunaSea breaks through the main army, and back at home, Greenert, he is in trouble. Thankfully, he has a bunker. Bunker is done. Setting up here on the low ground. LunaSea rotating into the main. Greenert out of position. And production is under fire. To laser axes. Force the army out. Sniping the Cyclone just in time. And the game will continue, but Greenert is contained. He's contained on 2 bases. Still making more Cyclones, by the way. I mean, if you invest into Macfield, it makes sense, but it's a really awkward unit in this army. What's awkward about them is that Cyclones, they do well against, I want to say Stalkers. Like, I want to say they have potential here in the early game, but it's no longer just Stalker. At this point, what's done? Charge. charge has completed, and we should be working away from just a purely Stalker-based army with now more Zealots, now more Charge Lots. As you can see, we're warping in and reinforcing, and that's where these Cyclones do struggle. That's where Widow Mines are more required. Typically, when we get into the mid-game, what is the army composition for Terran? Marine, Marauder, Widow Mine. And the goal of the Widow Mine is, of course, to provide splash damage and support against all those Charge Lots. Here, as we're getting to more Cyclones, they're single-target units, they're stuck with their lock-ons. They're not ideal against these Zealots. Oh, but Greenert, he will come across the Prism. Not bad. And Prism goes down. Zealots fall as well. Nice catch. Very nice catch. So a good start here for Greenert. But I do favor LunaSea when it comes to these head-on fights. But now splits off, goes for a Zealot round by, catches at the Marauder. There's not much of them to defend. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Forced to recall, actually. Does force a recall. With that Greenert, he will hold. He will lose some SCVs. But that could have been so much worse. Meanwhile, LunaSea diving in. SimCity working against LunaSea here. Immortal gets targeted. The Immortal may go down, but there's just not enough here. Snipes the Immortal, but he will lose all of his Marines. Lose the entire army. And gonna be forced back. Greenert, he has to lift, has to get out of here. At the same time, 11 SCVs go down. Mining is denied. We still have more cycling. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, second factory on the way. Double cyclone production. As DT's a fan out. So we have a base, sorry, for a Dark Temple for each base. The main, the third, and the natural. We get one skin. Ooh, turrets are denied. And more SCVs are going down. And there's no scan. There's no scan. There's no energy. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. And this is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. 13 SCV kills as one turret. So GG gets called, and LunaSea will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Ooh. GG, well played. Congratulations here to... Congratulations to LunaSea, as he will claim the series, will advance on. Congratulations, but a shout out to Greenert, as Greenert did force the ace match against LunaSea, which is very impressive. Not just that, but again, Greenert, he had a very unique build here. It is a build that it seems like it doesn't really scale too well into a longer game, but early on had potential. Early on did have potential to try to break and overwhelm his opponent, especially against a Stargate opener. It feels like almost a hard counter to Stargate play, getting into opening up Phoenixes or Oracles, but last it was Blink instead, and GG well played. With that, LunaSea does claim the series, and we can take a moment here to catch up on the bracket and figure out where we are. Let's go.